What's up, everyone? John here from Bag Riders. Check us out on the web at www.bagriders.com. Today we're going to be taking a look at the new digital air management system from Airlift Performance. It's called the Airlift Performance 3H. Now, there's another version of this control system called the 3P, but we're not going to be going into that today. This new system offers either pressure-based or height-based presets. Today, we're taking a look at the height-based version. So now we've got the box open. You can see immediately that Airlift has done a really good job of packaging everything so that it won't be shifting around during the shipping process, just to keep everything nice and safe. Now, this is the pilot version, which basically means it's a pre-release. We've got 20 of these available at the time of making this video. You can order online at bagriders.com. Airlift has gone ahead and opened up a 24-hour technical support hotline for anyone who orders the pilot version. So that's really awesome. Let's dig into the box and see what we've got here. That's just some packing material. We'll set that aside. And let's open up the first box. Alright, as you can see, these boxes are labeled individually for the pilot version. Open this up. We've got, this is the installation literature, the user manual, and some Airlift Performance stickers. Let's see what we've got in here. Really nicely packaged, its own cardboard container. Open it up. And then it's plastic wrapped, and this looks like it is the ECU manifold combination. So this is the brain of the system right here. As you can see, these are DOT approved, pressed in, push to connect fittings. All of them are labeled clearly, front left, front right, and so on and so forth, making this for a very easy installation. Only one electrical plug. You just can't go wrong with this thing. It feels like a really solid piece of equipment in your hands. Moving on, in this box here, we're going to find the controller itself. Let's open it up. Also plastic wrap to protect it. And wow, in your hand this thing feels really nice, like a high quality piece of electronics. The buttons are nice rubberized push buttons, a very responsive, nice feel to it. On the back side you can see the USB connector, which is how this controller will plug into the rest of the system. You can tell this thing's going to be really nice to use. Excited to see it in action. Alright, moving on, we've got a cardboard container here with a bunch of stuff in it. Let's see here. Here we have an airline cutter, and this is a tool you always want to use to cut your airline to ensure you get a nice straight cut, which will help prevent against leaks once the airline is plugged in to a push-to-connect fitting. So you always want to use this thing here. It's nice that they include it. Next, we have a USB cable. You may be thinking it's a little bit short, but the rest of the controller harness, or the actual wiring harness for the control system, has a really long USB wire on it, so you'd run that somewhere, and then this would be the final connection between the harness and the controller. Next up, we have a inline fuse holder, and it's color-coded for the power side of the circuit. You can see it's going to hold a fuse right here. That'll make for a nice clean installation. Another fuse holder here. This would be for the ground side of things. And here we have a really handy little tool. This is an add a circuit. So basically you can use this to tap into your existing fuse panel and add a fuse, and this would be used for the ignition wire of the control system, and we'll get to that later. And then we have a plastic bag here that has all sorts of stuff in it. A bunch of zip ties. And then we have various electrical connections, some fuses, a self-tapping screw, a couple coarse threaded bolts, and then some washers, and looks like a ring terminal. All the necessary things you're going to need to wire up the system. Alright, that does it for that box. Let's move on to the next one. This guy's open. Move that out of the way. Alright, we have another numbered pilot box here. Really diligent with this pilot version. Alright, okay, so here we have the height sensors. So these are going to be what the ECU uses to determine the vehicle's height for this 3H height-based version. These are really high quality arms. You can see there's 3 holes here, and these are going to allow you or your installer to optimize these height sensors so that they're reading the most range of travel possible, which is going to result in the most accuracy. And also, these are branded. They feel nice and high quality. These are nice sensors. Inside this box here, we have more zip ties. These are plastic backing plates for the sensors. Those would go between the sensor and the chassis. Moving on, we have, so this is the linkage. This here is going to be used to connect the sensor's arm here. The linkage will go to that, and then the other end of the linkage will go to a ball, which would be tapped into some moving member of the suspension. There's a few different ways you can go about installing these height sensors. That would be up to you or your installer to determine the best way to do that. Underneath these sensors here, we have all of the wiring harnesses for the sensors themselves. This side is the plug that goes into the sensor itself. As you can see, it's waterproof, feels really high quality. And this plug will go into the main wiring harness for the control system itself. Alright, so we've got 4 of those in there, 1 for each sensor. Now let's move on to the next box. Alright. Open this box up. Alright. Oops. Here we have a bundle of DOT approved 1/4 inch airline. Looks to be about the standard issue 60 feet of airline, and that will be plenty to install on pretty much any vehicle. Next up here we have, so this is the actual main wiring harness for the control system. This goes into the ECU manifold unit. Here we have a waterproof pre-wired relay, and that will be used to signal the compressor. Really nice that it comes pre-wired, save you some time. Here we have 4 plugs. These are for the height sensors. They're protected with little rubber boots, which is a nice touch from Airlift. Those are actually branded. Here we have the power and ground connections. And then 1 more wire here is a pink wire, and that's going to be the ignition wire. And then here we have a female spade connector, which will be used for the optional secondary compressor harness. So it's all pretty much plug and play, really easy to install, straightforward, good stuff here. Alright, we've got a couple other components here in the box. Let's open this up. So this is Airlift's new water trap. If you have a recent AutoPilot V2, you may be familiar with these. It's nice of them that they include a nice bracket for mounting the water trap itself. And then let's open up the water trap. You can see it has a arrow indicating the direction of flow here. And here we have the filter drain hose. So what this is used for is that you mount the water trap somewhere inside the car, and then you can connect this hose here to the bottom port of the water trap, and it will automatically drain itself through this hose, preferably to the outside of the car. So hands-free, you don't have to do anything, you don't have to worry about emptying your water trap. Really handy, just more user-friendly than the typical water trap that you have to remember to drain every once in a while. Alright, that does it for the unboxing of the Airlift Performance 3H. Thanks for watching. Check us out online, www.bagriders.com.